Good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 3, episode 7, overall 28 of the Small Talk podcast with co-hosts Marlene Sharp and Chris Pomay, a monthly entertainment show that we do. And I hope everyone's doing well here on this Monday, July 28th, 2025. It is about 37 Celsius and just around 100 here in Southern Ontario. And I'm looking forward to tonight's show with our special guests. And I'm going to bring on my longtime co-host Marlene Sharp. Good evening, or
Hello.
good afternoon, I should say.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Nice to see you, Chris. I'm so excited for today's show.
I was going to say thank you so much for arranging this. And how did you go about meeting some of our guests tonight?
Oh, that is a story in itself. So actually, I met Nimrod first. Well, no, actually, I met maybe I met Tyler and Atticus first, and then I met Nimrod on LinkedIn. So you know how I'm such a LinkedIn rah-rah person, and this episode will really drive that point home. So a friendship forged on LinkedIn, and then I met Rob through Nimrod. Even though Rob and I live in the same city and Nimrod lives in Israel, it took a trip for Nimrod to come here to LA to bring the three of us together. And then we collaborated on the Autism and Entertainment Conference last year. And then and Blanche is very familiar with this story too, so she might fill in some of the blanks. If I forget anything, she'll chime in. But I'll let our guests talk a little bit about how the rest of this came together, because it's a very interesting story. But you don't want to hear from me because I'm on the show all the time.
Yes,
that's why we have the guests.
Yeah, this is the 17th time you've been on the show with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring our guests on, and I'll let you introduce them since you were kind enough to arrange this show. And I'm really excited to have our guests, and I'm going to bring them on right now. Tyler and Rob and Nimrod and Atticus. Good evening, everybody.
Ta-da.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Marlene, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, they all look great to me. So, so thank you again for being here in this large group that we've never had before on the show. And I can't wait to get started and hear everybody's perspective on how this unusual collection of people came together. And actually, the God's Gang group started with Nimrod, and I had known Atticus and Tyler through different channels, and then we all came together. So we should probably start with Nimrod, who is the creator of the hit YouTube cartoon God's Gang.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nimrod. It's nice to meet you, and thank you for coming on here. And congratulations on this series on YouTube. I've been watching a couple of the episodes. I still got a lot of catching up to do, and I think the concept and the idea is wonderful.
Thank you so much. We believe it's never too late to promote kindness and compassion and unity and love, and how amazing it is to do it with an animated series.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you this, Nimrod. What were some of the motivations in doing this, and how did you come about starting up God's Gang, I guess just a little over 2 years ago?
So obviously the motivations derive from the situation in the world where we face a lot of let's call them divisive narratives and polarizations, while in fact I believe that people should come together and learn how to coexist and apply the right shared values so we can have an amazing humanity on our planet. And the idea originated many years ago when I used to work for the Disney channels under the marketing department in Israel. And we tried to come up with great ideas for Disney. And I had an idea to actually turn the Power Rangers into the first ever interfaith group of superheroes. Disney never came up eventually with an interfaith Power Power Rangers stories. So I decided to create my own group of superheroes that represent different cultures and different religions, but still are the example on how we can work together on our planet.
How did you come up with the name, and who helped you out with the graphics and all that stuff?
So I believe we are all a part of God's gang. Everyone here, everything in the universe, every human creature, animal, we're all a part of this amazing oneness. And once we realize this, I believe that the best way for us to enjoy life is by experiencing love. So I guess the umbrella was some kind of divinity, God, a faith that we should all carry. And if we know how to apply the right values, then we can all work together.
Marlene?
So, Chris, maybe we should back up a little bit, and I will introduce
Yes.
who we have here, who this collection of people
Yes.
is. And apologies that I didn't do that before. I'm just so excited.
No worries.
I'm losing
I
my
forgive
head.
you.
I'm so
I
excited.
forgive you.
So we have, of course, Nimrod May, who's the creator of God's Gang. And we heard from him a little bit about the origin story. And then next we have Rob Kuttner, who is the head writer. And I think Rob and Nimrod have an interesting story about how they met and came to work together. And then we have Atticus Baldwin and Tyler Berman, who are voice actors on the show. And they also have a different path of how they came into this production. And we are sadly missing one person who we had expected to be on the show, and that's Kathy McCauley, who is texting me right now. She's the voice director of these two wonderful actors, and she's also an actor on God's Gang herself. Unfortunately, she had a family emergency this afternoon, so she's not able to join us, but she sent a hilarious video of her excuse. So maybe if we have time, we can play it. But she's okay. Everybody in the family is okay. It was just a false alarm. But anyway, so that's who we have here. But God's Gang is actually much bigger than this. There's a whole cast and crew beyond this group representing here today. So Rob, maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you came into God's Gang and how you met Nimrod.
Yeah, well, so my background is I wrote in for late night shows in the United States for The Daily Show with Jon Stewart and the Conan O'Brien Show. And in 2018, Conan downsized. I went to a half hour, and unfortunately, I lost my job of 9 years. But I think that whether you call it God or not, something has been guiding the destiny of this show. And right after I was looking for a job, my friend Omri Marcus, who's the top comedy writer in Israel, he's my friend, and we collaborate on things. And he said, I have this friend and he needs some writing help with the show, but I have to warn you, it's a little bit crazy. And I said, go on. And he brought me this idea that Nimrod had developed and his team had developed all the art and this concept for God's Gang, for this interfaith action squad. And at that point, I was moving my career into animation, but I hadn't had a chance to start. I was looking for a new job and I was looking for an idea. And as soon as I saw this, I realized that it was crazy, but in the best way. In the way that things that change the world and blow people's minds are crazy and move the creative and move the creativity forward and change the world. So I was immediately in love with this project. And so I signed on as the head writer. And do you want me to talk about bringing in the voice actors, or do you want to let them?
Yeah, well, my mind is blown because I didn't realize you had been working on this since 2018.
Well, we started, any animated show takes a long time to make, but also any good show takes a long time to develop the
Right.
ideas and the characters and the stories.
Wow.
So anything you see on TV probably had years behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Just like The Simpsons probably was a couple years before it came on TV in 1989.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. On average, Rob, I'm curious. On average, how long does it take to develop a series?
There's not really an average number because it really depends on a lot of factors. I think it's too complicated to try to put an average. But it just know that anything you see, even when it looks simple, there's a lot of work and time that goes into it, probably more than you expect.
Yeah, one thing that I've heard repeatedly in the industry is that from the time of green light, so everything prepared and ready to go, and a production is greenlit to start pre-production, like the character designs and scripts and all that. It's a minimum of 18 months and that depends on the size and scope of the project, whether it's a commercial or a series or whatnot. But anyway, it's a minimum of 18 months for most projects, and I think a lot of projects take even longer than that.
Animation itself, just the animation process, takes almost up to a year sometimes. Like a Simpsons episode takes about 9 months or something like that.
Yeah. And often episodes are being worked on simultaneously. So it's not like you do one from beginning to end and then start the next. They're staggered, and they're sometimes different teams working on different episodes simultaneously.
Rob, I wanted to ask you this as well. What was your experience like working with Conan O'Brien for 9 years, and just head writing? How important? I'm going to reword this question. What makes a good head writer these days?
Well, I wasn't the head writer over there, to be clear.
Okay.
I was the staff writer. I'm the head writer on this, but it's a team of one. So I get along really well with my boss. But I think like any kind of management leadership style, you have to be able to appreciate your people's talent and their unique individual spark, and not let your ego get in the way, and make sure everybody gets heard from and feels seen, and create an environment where it's okay to fail. It's okay to pitch bad ideas. It's okay to not to get it right one day because they'll get it right the next day. All those things create an atmosphere of comfort and where everybody feels like they're working together instead of competing. And I think that leads to the best team environment in any kind of workplace, but particularly a creative one, when everybody feels like they're part of the creation, even if they have a small part.
Tyler, would you like to go next and tell us a little
Sure.
bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a voice actor. Been trained for about 5 years from Spectrum Laboratory, which is where I met Atticus about 6 years ago, and
Awesome.
gone through the levels of the voiceover classes with Atticus, I think around the same time in terms of levels, with one Kathy McCauley, who was previously mentioned as our teacher mentor, which she's taught us super invaluable stuff, which is kind of how this kind of came to be. So thanks to her, and shout out to her.
Yeah, and we've had Jason Weisbrod on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of the founders of Spectrum Laboratory, which is a Los Angeles-based training ground for the performing arts, specializing in training people on the autism spectrum. So Kathy has taught voiceover classes there, and she's also the head of the voiceover department.
How would you guys describe Kathy and her contributions to God's Game?
Oh, wow. I'd say that it's very powerful and very passionate. Whatever she puts her mind to, she just puts 110% passion. I think Atticus can back me up on that, how she's just very onto whatever she does.
Yeah, it's true. She's very helpful, and she's very creative. And she taught me a lot of different voice acting skills, as well as to Tyler and other friends of ours in Spec Labs.
Atticus. Oh, go ahead, Marlene. Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, Atticus has a very interesting background in the entertainment industry, and with his family. He comes from a performing dynasty that I think most of the viewers here will be familiar with. So, Atticus, tell us about your familial background.
Well, it's true. Acting does run in my family. My mother, Isabella Huffman. She's done Second City, and she's also done a few movies and shows. She was in the show Criminal Minds with Joe Mantegna, and she was also in a sitcom show from the 90s called Dear John. And then my father, Daniel Baldwin, and my uncles, Alec Baldwin, Stephen Baldwin, and Billy Baldwin, they've done a lot of like shows and movies in their careers too. Like my father, Daniel, was in Vampires with James Woods, and my uncle Alec was in he was in a lot of movies like the first Beetlejuice and Rules Don't Apply, and 2 of the Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise, and the voice of Makunga in Madagascar 2, Escape to Africa, and he was also on Thomas and Friends as the narrator, and also played the part of Mr. Conductor in Thomas and the Magic Railroad. And my Uncle Stephen and Uncle Billy have done a lot of movies and shows in their careers too, but I can't really remember any of the names of them off the top of my head.
Atticus. Oh, sorry, Marlene. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Atticus is the acting gene is present in his extended family too, cousins, aunts and uncles, and so forth. And so, his uncle Stephen has a daughter.
Yes,
who's quite well known.
My cousin Haley Baldwin, who is currently married to Justin Bieber, who's a famous musician, singer, songwriter. So he is now my cousin-in-law.
By the way, he's from Stratford, Ontario, which is only 35 minutes from me. And Justin's a huge Toronto Maple Leafs fan, even though he's not here. But he comes from a little small town here, and he's Canadian. That is cool. Atticus, I got to ask you this too. Besides your family, obviously being in acting and that, did you have some other people in your life that kind of influenced your career? Mentors?
Well, there were a lot of actors outside of my family that I did grow up watching, and a lot of shows and movies that inspired me to become an actor. Like quite a lot of famous actors that people might have heard of, like not just my dad and my uncles and aunts, and but not only like Tom Cruise and Joe Mantegna, but other well-known actors like, say, let's see, Jamie Lee Curtis, Mark Harmon, Missy Pyle, David Arquette, Jeff Garland, John Goodman, Eddie Murphy, Peter Cullen, Steve Carell, and Tom Hanks, and Tim Allen, and Andrew Stanton, and trying to think who else is out there.
And Rob's worked with all of them. Isn't that right, Rob?
Oh, I win.
There's Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans and Richard Kind and Tom Holland and many other actors that I can name off the top of my head.
Great list.
There you go, Rob. So there's the 6 degrees of separate, or 1 degree of separation. Rob's worked with Richard Kind too.
Richard Kind filmed something in my house exactly right here where I am. And I told my kids, I said, it was when my kids were out, and when they came home, I said, guess what? Bing Bong was in the house. Inside Out. You remember the elephant character from Inside Out?
Yeah. And of course, I mean, So basically, a lot of them actors outside of my family, as well as ones in my family, inspired me to also become an actor. And of course, I'm actually a huge fan of tons of like many different like action adventure movies. Those are my two favorite movie genres: action and adventure. I mean,
have you seen the new Superman movie yet?
yes, I did.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Atticus and I saw it on the same night for Atticus's birthday.
Happy birthday!
He had a birthday a week
Happy
and a half
birthday,
ago,
Atticus.
2 weeks ago.
Happy birthday, buddy!
Yeah, happy belated, Atticus.
Yep, 29 years old and proud of it.
He had an epic birthday week, by the way. He had many celebrations. I wasn't part of all of them, but I certainly saw the coverage on social media. He went to Universal Studios. There was an escape room. His mom told me he went to this escape room too, right, Atticus?
Yeah, we did.
How was that?
Fun.
He's very beloved. He has many friends, many people wanting to celebrate him for his birthday. So he needed to have at least 3 parties.
Absolutely. Nimrod and Rob, my next question's for you. How do you go about casting for God's Game? And currently, how many members on your crew on the team, obviously on air and behind the scenes?
So the team grows according to the company needs. When we go into production, for example, we go beyond sometimes 50 people because we have the team of animators that are doing the animation. But the original team, when we're not doing production, is between 8 to 12 people. And the first cast that worked on the show actually was recommended by the producers that we worked with, the executive producers, the Candy Bear, where we auditioned different talented people for the voices of the superheroes. And that's where we found our lead talent, who plays Ninju and Crisscross and other characters in the show like Ladov. His name is Ross Allen. He lives in Brooklyn. Maybe he can be a guest on your podcast in a later stage. He's very talented. And when we met Marlene and she told us about autism in entertainment and Spectrum Laboratories and the fact that they're very passionate and talented voice actors there, we actually auditioned and we found amazing people with lots of talents and beautiful hearts and souls. And for us, it was a match made in heaven, literally, which goes along very well with the name of the show as well. So I'm not a big believer in circumstances. I believe that everything that happens for the right reasons, and here we are.
Can I continue, add on to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Of course, I cough right before it's my turn, right?
It happens.
Maybe it happened for a reason. Sorry. So I wanted to add, first of all, just before I talk about the casting, the animators are a company in Indonesia called Infinite Studios, which is Indonesia, if you don't know, is the world's largest Muslim country. And this is a project that on the screen it shows people from 4 different faiths working together, and behind the scenes it has an idea that came from Israel and is being animated by people in the world's largest Muslim country. So on every level, the show models and embodies including people in cooperation, even in a time when it seems impossible. And in the spirit of inclusion, Nimrod introduced me to Marlene when she was about to start the Autism and Entertainment conference that I was invited to. We brought a table to, and at that conference, Tyler was the announcer, and which they call in show business terms the voice of God, which is the voice that you hear who tells you to go to your seats and all that, and turn your phones off, and all those important godly commandments. But since then, he's gone from being the voice of God to the voice of God's gang, because we released a series of trailers for our last episode. And when I heard Tyler's voice, I knew that he had the kind of epic quality that we needed to excite people and bring the show to life, just how I heard people doing that. And then a second project that Marlene and Kathy are involved with, the Spectrum Labs puts on a show called Speckoween, which is like a variety show with all different people with different talents from the autistic world. And I saw Atticus on stage. I didn't know about his famous family at all. I just remembered he did this hilarious British character. And when it came time to cast a Gordon Ramsay British character for our show, I was like, I talked to Marlene and Kathy. I said, who is that guy who is the crazy, hilarious British guy? I want him for the role. Had no idea that he was show business royalty already. I just liked him on stage. And so that's what I wanted for the show. So I've had even though Nimrod found these great people for the leads, I've had the great honor of finding talented people brought to me by Spectrum Laboratories, by Marlene and Kathy. And I hope that we can continue to do that and use them for other things that we do.
Rob, quick question for you. Any chance that you could use Marlene as the voiceover actor and Blanchie in a future episode?
Well, I think now that you put the idea in the universe, it has to happen.
Thank
And a
you,
Canadian
Chris.
too.
I didn't even ask him to do that. Gosh, Chris, thank you. And of course, I'm so grateful for the endorsement. But okay, I must go forth and accept whatever comes from that.
And have me as the Canadian cousin on the show. The crazy Canuck.
Rob and I have gone on to collaborate on many more things. So Nimrod had no idea what he was starting when he introduced us to each other. And we've actually worked with both Atticus and Tyler outside of God's Gang. So God's Gang is just one thing that manifested from the Autism and Entertainment Conference and the experience of Nimrod giving a generous donation to the conference to make it possible, and then exhibiting there. So, and that was the whole point. The whole point of the conference, and you remember this, Chris, because we also had Judy Utah on our show. We've had all my friends and neighbors on the show, basically. So this experience with God's Gang is very much on brand for the show. But the point of the whole conference was advocating for employment for people on the autism spectrum. And both Atticus and Tyler are on the autism spectrum. And so they are getting the direct benefit from the work that we set in motion with the conference last year. It was in April of last year.
So this show could be a pioneer for autism actors in that, giving them more opportunities.
Yeah, certainly.
Nimrod and Rob, I got to ask you this. Watching your show on YouTube has been really a pleasure, and I really like it. How did you guys come up with the theme song, and whose voice is behind that, and the graphics and the designs and the development of the characters too?
So I'll give most of the credit to Rob. Rob was in charge of writing the lyrics for the theme song. And again, going back to No Circumstances, I was introduced to this ex-Hollywood big producer who was also in the music production. His name is Stephen Mashat, and he was behind many projects and many known artists. Like Phil Collins and Snoop Dogg and many others. And when we were introduced, I told him that we're looking for a singer. And he said that he started working with this very talented young actor and singer by the name of Isaac Ryan Brown, that used to play in several Disney shows, but he also was just working with Sony Music. And he really liked the idea behind the show and the lyrics, so we went into studio, and that's how we had Isaac sing the theme song. As for the characters and their the way that they interact with each other and with the world, I would also give a lot of credit, and I'm sure Rob can add here to Rob. We've been trying to really define ways on how to create different characters that can work together, that can be friends. On the other hand, they can also express their heroism while they face different challenges. And there's another aspect that you asked about, and that's the designs. We work with a very talented character designer by the name of Debdut, who's coming from India. He now lives in France, and he used to work for computer gaming companies. He worked on projects like The Witcher, and when we gave him the brief about the characters, he just made magical designs, and we knew that this is our character designer. He's a very we like working with young talented artists from all ranges, and coming, and bringing their talent into the show. And when we feel that somebody has what we need, even though he's lacking a lot of experience, we see the passion and the talent, and we get them to join the gang. Just like Rob mentioned earlier, we're also trying to be the God's gang behind the scene and the scenes, and not only in front of the scene. Rob, maybe you want to add more about the writing and the ideas.
Yeah. So as I said, the character designs were presented to me when I first met Nimrod, as they are, including the names. Everybody asked me, because I make a lot of bad puns, if I came up with the puns for the names, and I can't take credit for these ones. But they were brought to me, and I worked with Nimrod and some other people on the team, including our very talented director, Ehud Landsberg, who is a big creative force behind this. I worked with them to develop the characters further. So one part of that was fun was trying to come up with a superpower that came from their faith tradition. So, for example, Su Muslim, the Muslim character, I was thinking about the Arabic storytelling tradition of like the 1001 Nights. They have a very long and deep tradition. So he has the power to hypnotize by telling a story when he needs to. Then sometimes it was a little bit silly, like crisscross is the Christian. And if you know that in Christianity, they say turn the other cheek. So literally he can turn his cheek and block. He can turn his cheek as a defensive maneuver. It's like a superpower. And then also giving them fun things too, that are surprising. Like, for example, Ninju, the little character, is convinced that he's going to be a star in the NBA one day. And he's always imagining himself as a basketball hero when he's not in the middle of action scenarios. Or Taekwondo Hindu, who's sort of this peaceful, spiritual, connected to nature. She also plays in a heavy metal band. So I think it was a combination of finding something true from these traditions, and also finding something comical that made them seem more like human and more like, cartoons that are fun and comical.
We have a viewer watching and a former guest of ours, Jenna Rosenberg. She says, hi, Tyler. Hi, Chris, Marlene, and crew. And Vladimir, deep sea diver out of Florida, he's watching as well. So anyone watching this right now, live stream, have any comments for for Marlene, myself, or the Cast of Gods game, please feel free to comment as well. I'm going to put Nimrod and Rod on the spot here. Any plans in the future to possibly make this God's Game into a movie in the movie theaters at some point?
Wow.
Actually, that's the second time I get this question. I want to say today, but that was yesterday. For me, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Hi, everyone from Israel. Um, and yes, I see a God's Gang movie coming in the future. Also, spoilers. There's a God's Gang mobile game in development, which is progressing amazingly well. Also scripted by Rob. I get to play with it because I'm beta testing it, and it really looks amazing. So yes, a movie soon to be launched, a God's Gang mobile game. We plan to produce many more episodes. I believe we barely written the first sentence in what I'm hoping to be a never-ending story. We're waiting for the Black Dragon to come. So I hope that answers your questions, Rob. I hope you see eye to eye with me here.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do a movie. That would be so much fun.
Jenna Rosenberg wants to say hi, Atticus, and Jenna, thank you for watching us as well. Have to ask you this, and I'm going to let Marlene talk for a bit. I'm always thinking, I've got ideas in my head. Merchandise. Have you guys thought about merchandise in the future? Hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, everything?
Nimrod's wearing it.
So we have a shop on the godsgang.com website where you can find amazing merchandise coming from the show. Like I have this notebook, Love Unites Us All. I don't know if you can see it. And another notebook. But basically, if I don't know if you can see me, but I'm wearing a God's Gang t-shirt. And
nice.
Also on the back of the t-shirt, I'm going to turn for 1 second. I don't know if you can see, or I'll open the shirt. What we're trying to promote is basically the values that you can find within the show. So on the back of the show, on the back of the t-shirt, it says kindness and compassion and love and gratitude and unity, which is what the show is all about. So we do have merchandise, and that helps us create more episodes when people go online and buy them. And hopefully awesome. In the future, we'll extend the collection.
I'll have to get one of those shirts one day. I'd like one in blue.
We'll get you a shirt. Marlene will make sure that we get you a shirt, and everybody on this podcast.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm in the market for a new shirt too, because I've worn mine out. It's frayed around the collar because I've put it on. So it's been in the trenches with me so many times. So yeah, that's great.
So expect to get more shirts, and so is everybody on the podcast.
Awesome.
Great.
And I'll spread the word here in Canada about this show, because I think you guys have a hit there, and I think it might, maybe, who knows, it might inspire other people to do something like this. I think the world needs this right now. And Jenna is watching us and has another comment. She says, thanks, Chris. Maybe Tyler can help with the movie getting into the AMC, and Marlene is a merchant queen. Okay, good to know, Marlene. Maybe I'll hire you because I need new merchandise.
So let's talk about Jenna for a minute, because she is actually involved tangentially with God's Gang, and also not tangentially, but she's intertwined with autism and entertainment. So Jenna and I go way back in the toy industry. Do you remember our Jenna episode, Chris?
Yes, I do.
And she was talking about all the toys and her class that she teaches at the University of Maryland and all of that. And so Jenna was at the Autism and Entertainment Conference, and she was an exhibitor with her company, GenCom, which is she does a lot of PR for the toy industry, and she also represents inventors and so forth. And so I recruited her to be an exhibitor, and she brought her niece Mallory to help her with her display. And at that conference, Tyler met Mallory. And what happened, Tyler? What happened after that?
How detailed do you want me to get?
You can tell it all. Whatever you feel comfortable in telling, go for it.
Let's just say, to keep it brief, a spark occurred.
So we have the real life Love on the Spectrum happening right under our noses at the Autism and Entertainment Conference. We had people from the actual show, Love on the Spectrum, but then we set the stage for the new generation, or the new iteration. So Mallory and Tyler are still going strong.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenna is Mallory's aunt.
And Mallory is taking classes also at Spectrum Laboratory to be a voice actor.
That's right. Jenna's like, tell it all.
I'm trying to keep up with your comments.
Jenna and I have had many adventures together in the toy industry and elsewhere. And so this is just it's very, we're both very invested in Tyler and the success of Tyler and Mallory's relationship, of course. And Tyler, actually, you want to talk about the cruise?
Can briefly touch on it? Sure. We went on our first vacation together about a month ago with her and her dad's side of the family, including Jenna, who's in our comments, who's been praising us to no end, which is very grateful of her. And I got to say, because I think she'd like this, but hello, Jenna.
Jenna, you're here. You're definitely here.
Tyler, I wanted to ask you this too, and Atticus as well. What makes a good voiceover artist these days?
I think what makes a good voiceover artist is probably diversity, not necessarily just in who they are as a person or as an actor, but also just having the capability and ability to just do anything from high to low. Or should I say high to low?
Yeah, true. And personally, I'm not just in like voice acting and stuff, I mean, I'm like an artist of many talents. I sing, I dance, I write stories, I write screenplays, draw pictures, and paint pictures sometimes, and create sculptures, and I do voices.
Atticus, do you want to say something about performing at the Laugh Factory? Because that's something else that Rob is involved with too.
Oh yeah, one time, me and some of my Spec Lab friends, I can't remember if you were at this performance, Tyler, but we did like a performance at the Laugh Factory, some sort of improv show.
Two, remember? Yeah.
Weren't you there, Tyler?
I don't believe so, no, but I did hear about it, and I did see the coverage done by Marlene.
Okay. Well, we did 2 improv show performances over at the Laugh Factory, and they were pretty awesome, like phenomenally awesome.
And I don't know if you knew this, Atticus and Tyler, but that all started with Rob. Even though he wasn't at the second show or the third show. The first show that we did there, it was a different configuration of performers, but that came from Rob.
Well, that came from Nimrod.
Well, which came from Nimrod. That's right.
If you think about Nimrod as this pebble in the middle of a lake who set a bunch of waves in motion. One of them has been future projects with Marlene and me. One of them was that we brought, so if you know if your viewers don't know, the Laugh Factory is one of the world's most famous comedy venues based in Los Angeles, now across the country, and I think other countries as well, where many of the big stars in comedy started out and continue to be. And Marlene and I and my friend Mike had the idea to create a comedy show with famous comedians that will be friendly to neurodivergent audiences and welcome to everybody. And once that started, it was such a good experience that the Laugh Factory and Marlene and Spectrum Labs continued their partnership and put on, is this going to be 3 or 4 shows?
We have number 4 coming up on September it's either September 9th, 7th, or 9th, whatever that Sunday is. We have our fourth one coming up, and it'll be in less than a year. That's how many shows we've done.
Rob, any chance that we could get you on stage doing comedy?
Maybe a few minutes. Marlene and I were just actually talking about this today, that I'm more comfortable behind the camera, but if it's a friendly crowd, maybe I'll get up the courage and tell a few jokes. That's all I can promise.
And I think you should come to Canada too. Toronto's got a lot of good comedy clubs, especially Second City.
I've been to the Just for Laughs in Montreal, and it was a fantastic time. But I've never been to Toronto, and I would love to come.
Can you speak any French words? Bonjour. Ça va bien? Très bien. Merci beaucoup.
Ça va.
Bonnie chance? That's good luck in French. So I know a little bit of French. By the way, we have another viewer, Melanie Reese. Sorry for the delay.
Mallory Reese. Mallory. That's Tyler's Mallory.
Wow. She says, sorry for the delayed
Mallory.
comments. I just figured how to do this. I love Tyler. You're awesome and you rock. Thank you, God Skane, for having my talented boyfriend on your show. Thank you, Mallory, for watching.
I'm going to echo that and say Toda Rabah, Nimrod.
Thank you for letting Taylor be on the show. Tyler, did you know somebody called you surfer dude in the comments? Who is the surfer dude that's doing the voice acting for the trailers? And
can you share a little bit of that voice, Tyler, with us, just to give us a taste?
What do you want me to say, Rob?
That was pretty good.
Tyler, and I'm going to ask Atticus this too. As the voiceover artist, I wish Cassie was here too. What are some of the most difficult voices that you've done in your career so far?
Oh man, I gotta say some accents. I'm actually reading a book that Kathy recommended me to learn an Irish and Scottish accent, which are two accents I've always wanted to learn. So I'm in the process of learning those two. But I'd say accents are definitely a selling point in some cases to make the read more unique, and it's definitely something worth learning and putting time into.
Well, I can easily do voices with like foreign accents: English, Irish, Scottish, and other things. I mean, I've done a lot of different voices in my days, and
Can you do one for us?
Yeah, I can easily. One English voice that I can easily do is Professor Dumbledore from the Harry Potter series. I can easily do this, like, I should have known that you would be here, Professor McGonagall.
As I mentioned, it was hearing, to Tyler's point, it was hearing Atticus do one of his many British accents on stage that first got my notice, and that's why I cast him in the show. So Tyler, you're right. That's exactly something that people look for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I've been taught.
Atticus is also a very talented musician. He performs with Spec Bands, which is the music division of Spectrum Laboratory. And one of my favorite things that Atticus has performed in is something that he created all on his own. He did a music video, and it's called Brian the Forgetful Wizard. And he created the character of Brian. He wrote a song about Brian. He sings the song in the music video, and he produced the music video through Spectrum Laboratory. And it's a tour de force. It's a great showcase of all of Atticus's talent, writing, producing, singing, acting, all of it. So it's on YouTube. I highly recommend it to anybody. It's very funny.
Atticus, I'm going to check this out after our show. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who are some of your favorite artists, and which songs do you like to perform the most or listen to?
Wait, when you say favorite artists, are you talking about like favorite musicians, singers,
Yes.
writers?
Yeah.
Well, I do have quite a lot of favorite artists, like many favorites, and I have quite a lot of favorite artists, like many favorites, matter of fact, and I like all kinds of music. And one of my favorite singers, truth be told, is well, some people who I've spoken to don't really remember this particular singer. One of my favorite singers is Tom Higginson, the lead singer of the Plain White Tees, and one of my favorite songs that they did was the Hey There Delilah song.
Yeah, I know the song. I didn't recognize the name of the artist, but that's a famous song.
Yeah, Plain White Tees, and the lead singer's name is Tom Higginson.
Guys, if you're still good for a few more minutes or a few more questions, I just wanted to play your little trailer from your YouTube channel just to give my audience. I'm based out of the Toronto area, but I just wanted to play a little bit of the trailer clip. It's about a minute long, and I thought you guys did a great job on this.
Yeah.
Okay, just let me know if you guys can hear the audio. If not, I will fire the audio guy, which is me.
Friendship and laughter and flying kicks. Only together the world we can fix. God's game for different things. And saving the day. Love from above. We may not agree on when to pray, but when we join hands, help us on the way. Crisscross is kind but never weak. He'll blow you away with his other turn sheet. Ninja has the power to analyze 18 ways to stop the bad guy. Taekwon Hindu can hear the words of animals, insects, plants, and birds. Sumo Slim can spin a tail to capture our enemies without fail. Together we're better, we stand for each other, fighting for others, for now and forever.
Amazing. I really liked it.
Well, it's a combination of many talented people, starting with the lyrics written by Rob, and then having an amazing team of composers and Isaac Ryan Brown doing the singing. We actually, maybe I'll give us a spoiler. We actually, Rob written an extended version of the theme song. And we plan to go hopefully very soon into the studio to do the full version. And I've been actually discussing this with Stephen Mashat, Isaac's producer. And so I hope to have good news very soon about that. And I think the song is very catchy, and it also delivers an amazing message about our show.
Now, in the 2 years you've done this, how much would you say the show has evolved and improved from everybody on the set?
So I would say from what we call the pilot episode, which was a 13-minute episode that we managed to also break down into 3 parts, and then going into what we call the 4th episode, which is called What's Cooking, which is not similar in the way we tell the God's Gang story. We show the dynamics of the group, and all the way to the recently released episodes. I think you can see different aspects of the characters and the interactions. And Atticus mentioned earlier that his favorite genres are action and adventure. And when people ask us what God's Gang is about, we always say we meshed up with these 3 genres that we all love, and me personally, the action, adventure, and comedy. But there's a very special element that we like adding alongside the action, adventure, and comedy, and that's a spiritual heart that is pulsing underneath the action, adventure, and comedy. And it has been improved in the way that we managed to tell the story from in the early episodes and all the way to the recently released episodes. And again, I think we barely exposed a very small part of the God's Gang universe, and in the last episodes they were also met with a new ally, and many more to come, so we can be able to represent different aspects of people coming from different backgrounds and cultures and faith-based. So I think, it's just like the universe. It's an ongoing expansion process, and I'm sure with the team of these amazing and talented people that we have here, it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, for me, one of the things that's been exciting on this journey is bringing even more people into the gang, and that includes the fans as well. Because if you go on YouTube, usually the comments are usually kind of mean or nasty, and all of our comments are almost always nice. And anytime there's a hater, they get slapped down by everyone else. But what's also cool about that is that the fans comment on things they want to see in the show, and we started getting this notice where they said, can they have a friend who's from another religion? And we thought this was a great idea, and a bunch of people were saying Buddhist. And so then we went out, and so, by the way, Nimrod didn't mention this, but we have an interfaith council of advisors who are Christian, Hindu, Muslim, and Jewish, who make sure we read every script and make sure everything we say is authentic and accurate about the religions. But for Buddhism, we needed a new one. So my friend found me a guy who's not only a practicing Buddhist, but he's a 13th generation Shaolin Temple disciple. So he's a Buddhist, but he's also a martial arts expert. And so when we brought this Buddhist character in, he was advising us on spiritual and the martial arts nature. And I think it just really added something to bring in the other faith, to bring this guy into our lives, and also to bring the voice of the fans in. Once again, just bringing more and more people together as we go.
When's your next episode? When are you guys starting for the next season?
So hopefully we'll secure additional funding within the next couple of months, so we can expect new episodes to come towards the end of the year.
And also sponsorships. Are you guys going for that too? Getting sponsorships behind your show?
We're very open to it. We still didn't got any sponsorship deal, but with that said, we just recently signed 3 distribution deals with online kids channels. So God's Gang now is streamed on a YouTube channel called Power Kids, which has 48 million subscribers. And they also have another YouTube channel called Power Teens. And so basically they promote the episodes from Power Kids to Power Teens. And in September, we'll release the game, and also go live on with 2 other partners. One is a company called Toon Googles, and they have an application. It's called the Fast Channel. And so basically, you can VOD God's Gang through the Toon Googles app. And alongside to it, we partnered with this new startup company, high-tech company, Linguana, that's going to help us basically open different God's Gang channels in different native languages. And so the content would be accessible for Spanish-speaking audience, and Russian and French and German and Polish, and hopefully one day in any spoken language on our planet, and maybe beyond it.
Marlene, I know we're getting tight for time here, guys, if you got maybe 2 more minutes. But Marlene, I wanted to ask you this because we brought this up before. Were you guys or any of you a part of the recent San Diego Comic Con for God's Game?
Guilty.
I went to it, but not for God's
and
Gang.
Rob too.
I went to it but not for God's Gang. I think maybe this is a future plan we'll have.
Yeah, Rob can come back and wear one of his other hats.
I did wear the shirt there. Yeah, so in a way, yes.
That's right, you did. And you took pictures and posted it on social media too. So
Yes.
yay. Well done.
Tyler, do you have any final thoughts?
Uh,
And where can people find you on social media and follow you?
yes. Final thoughts. Thanks for having me and all of us on here. Don't want to speak for everyone here, but thank you. And you can find me on Instagram at Tyler_voiceover_Berman, LinkedIn Tyler Berman, website taughttyologies.com, and a few other places here and there, and a YouTube channel by the name of Tyler's Fidget Finds, where I review fidgets such as stuff like this.
I will subscribe.
Chris, can
Go
I
ahead.
say a final thought?
Yeah.
If any of our viewers want to, they can follow me on like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, and I too also have a YouTube channel, except I've only got 12 videos on my channel currently, but I'll get more soon. If you or anyone else wants to subscribe to my channel too, Chris, you can. My YouTube channel, it's called Atticus the Train Wizard King. No spaces, but all beginning letters of each word, all letters capitalized.
I'll give you some of my videos on YouTube. I've got 3,200 videos, so it's a great tool. YouTube and the internet and social media. I know you hear the negative aspects, but if you use it the right way, it's a great tool as well. And Nimrod, some final thoughts for you, and where can people get a hold of you?
One last thing, Chris.
Go ahead.
I mention that one other talent that I don't think like that many autistic artists are really remember is pretty a good artist talent for a lot of folks to have. One other talent that I have is I'm also really good at sign language.
Amazing.
So just to answer your question, Chris, obviously I'm inviting the audience to subscribe to the God's Gang YouTube channel, the God's Gang Go. And we also have a TikTok account and Instagram account and X. So and we're also very active on LinkedIn and Discord. So you can find all the links on the godsgang.com website. And as for final words, beside the fact that I'm so proud to be here and I'm honored to be here and I'm humbled. I just want to say, this is time for love, and anyone who realizes that and understands that should carry it with him. And through the God's Gang stories, we want to show how we can basically coexist and come together and unite. So I'm inviting everybody to be a part of the God's Gang universe.
We need more of this. And Rob, your final thoughts and where can people find you and some of your other projects if you want to bring them up.
You can, I don't want to get into it here, but you can follow my projects at robcutner.com. You can follow me on Instagram at robcutner. And I want to say is, if you want to see more God's Gang in the world, everyone like and subscribe and tell people to do that, because we are trying to persuade audiences. We're trying to persuade investors and studios. This crazy little project is exactly what the world needs right now. So the audiences are growing, but we need your support. So show your love with your thumb or your finger, and more God's Gang will manifest in the world.
Well, you have my support as well. And Mallory Reese just wants to comment before I wrap this up. Spec Labs and everyone in it is special to me. I'm so grateful that you guys are recognizing the value Atticus and Tyler and the other Spec Labs people bring to this industry. And this has been great. And Melanie, thank you so much for watching our show.
Thanks,
Marlene?
Marlene,
we saved the best for last. Marlene, final thoughts?
Oh, just a huge thank you to everybody who's here today. This wonderful lineup of guests, as well as the audience members, the friends who were in the audience who participated with questions and comments. It's beautiful. So thank you. And thank you, Chris. Thank you for letting me invite all my friends to be on the show.
And this is a record, 6 people, so we got through it perfectly. And guys, give me a little bit of time tonight, and I will send you guys or Marlene, the video, the audio, and I will edit the video into some clips. And I imagine Marlene will make sure you're all tagged in it. And all of you have a invite to come back on the Small Talk podcast again, or my other show. I do 2 other shows on top of it, but it's not work when you have a passion, and I can tell how much you guys have a passion for God's gain, and I look forward to more episodes, and maybe a Canadian episode too.
God's gang on location in Canada.
Avec plaisir. With pleasure.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
S'il vous plaît.
Bonne chance. That's good luck.
Merci beaucoup.
Marlene, you're French?
Oui, oui. I took French in school, but it didn't stick. So I'm not going to attempt it here. So, but oui, and yes, merci.
All right, well, I'm going to let everybody go, but Marlene, thank you so much. Tyler, Nimrod, Atticus, and Rob, it was a pleasure having you on episode 7 of the Small Talk podcast. Continued success in your careers and with God's gain, and you definitely have a new fan in myself as well.
Thanks,
so much for
everyone.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Marlene, final thoughts before we wrap this up. And I want to say thank you so much. I love all of our shows, but this one was really a really fun one tonight. And it was nice to do it with 4 different guests.
Isn't that nice? And there's so much to talk about, and it's great to hear from everyone's perspective. I like it. I like the variety of the voices. Let's do it again. Let's have more guests. Although it is hard to book guests and align schedules, but it is really fun to have them on.
Absolutely. And Jenna, I want to say Jenna and Mallory, thank you for watching. And we'll try to get Kathy to come back on a show again in the future. But give me a little bit of time tonight, Marlene, and I will send you the full video, the audio, and I'll do some real clips. I have to go for a walk. I got to get my 30 minutes of walking in. But I really enjoyed this, and I really appreciate you doing this. And I'm looking forward to episode 8 in August, which isn't far away, by the way.
No, it's not. Yes, and I'll get back to you with some ideas on guests for that one too.
Where can my audience find you on social media? And that's about it for tonight.
I'm most active on LinkedIn. I'm pretty unstoppable on LinkedIn. So I'm just me, Marlene Sharp there. And also my production company is called Pink Poodle Productions, and the website's pinkpoodleproductions.com. So
all right. Well, Marlene, I'm going to let you go. Make sure you pet Blanchie for me. And make sure you walk her. The dogs today that I walked, they went outside. How hot it was. They did their business within like 10 minutes, and it's like time to come in. It was just too hot for them today. So make sure Blanchie goes for a good walk and spoil her for me as well. And
she's ready. Yeah, she's ready.
She's ready to go. And we'll definitely see you in August for episode 8. And thank you so much again, Marlene, for coming on here and for arranging this.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Have a good night, Marlene.
For everything. Okay, take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that concludes season 3, episode 7, overall 28 of the Small Talk podcast with Marlene Sharp and myself. Tonight we had guests from God's Gain, an emanation, I'm going to say out a word, emanation cartoon series on YouTube. So check out God's Gain on YouTube as well. And I want to say thank you to our guests. I have them down here. Fortunately, Cassie McCullough, couldn't come on, but Nimrod May, the creator of God's Gain, thank you. Rob Kuttner came on. Cassie McCullough unfortunately couldn't make it. I want to say thank you to Tyler Bergman for coming on. He is a voice actor on God's Gain, and also to Atticus Baldwin as well. Before we wrap up this show, guys, I have another Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment talk show on Wednesday, July 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern with my special guest, Matrice Wagner. She is a U.S. actress based in the UK. So Matrice Wagner, a US actress based in the UK area, right now is going to be my next guest on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. And I have a WWF. If you're a fan of the WWE, with SummerSlam 2025 coming up, I have WWE superfan Nikki Whitehorse coming on my show Live with CDP on Thursday, July 31st at 8:30. We're going to talk about the impact the late Hulk Hogan had on sports entertainment, pro wrestling. We're going to talk about the return of Roman Reigns, and we're going to talk about Braun Breaker and SummerSlam 2025, a 2-day event that's going to be taking place at MetLife Stadium. So if you're a fan of the WWE, check out Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. And the next Argo Bounce podcast show, episode 7 with me and Nick Small. It's going to take place on Friday, August 1st at 7 p.m. Basically a pregame podcast show before the Argos Winnipeg matchup this Friday night at 8:30 in Winnipeg. So if you're a fan of the CFL Toronto Argonauts, check out the Argo Bounce podcast show this Friday, August 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern with Nick Small and myself. I want to say thank you to my co-host Marlene Sharp tonight, and for the guests from the God's Gain for coming on here tonight. Please look them up on social media or check out their YouTube channel. It's a really good series as well. And the Small Talk podcast season 3 episode 8 is going to be back in August with Marlene and myself. The day and the time and the guest will be to be announced as well. I want to say thank you to everyone watching this, Mallory, Jenna, and everyone watching this live stream. And the Small Talk podcast, besides its live stream, is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Good Pods. And any businesses out there looking to advertise on the Small Talk podcast, please email me at cpomay19@gmail.com, and any viewer feedback, comments, questions, suggestions for the Small Talk podcast would be greatly appreciated as well. I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you back here in August for episode 8 of the Small Talk podcast, a monthly entertainment show with Marlene Sharp and myself. And Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show will be back on Wednesday, July 30th at 3 p.m. with Matrice Wagner, an actress out of the UK. Have a great night, everybody, and thanks again for watching the Small Talk podcast.